Hello, this is my Grixis Dragons deck. And it's a relatively cheap deck. This version has 3 fetch lands and a foil Ugin. That's just because I got those in packs, and the foil Ugin I extorted from my brother. Because I can do that. But aside from that, it's like $50, and it's a pretty good deck. So, to start, we have 4 thunderbreak regents, which is 4 mana for a 4/4 with a fairly relevant ability. You can pause and read that if you want to. Most people will know what it does. 4 icefall regents, which can also act like a removal spell, sort of, until they kill it, but it's harder for them to kill it, which is nice. And then we just have 2 of these, which usually will control some combination of a total of 2 of icefall regents and thunderbreak regents, and then just play this guy, dash him in usually, and just win. Because he's amazing, because if we have him and 2 other things we dash him in, we can swing for 21. And then we have draconic roars, which usually deals 3 to a creature and 3 to a player. Creator's Claws, all of our creatures have power 4 or greater, so that's nice. Radiant Flames is a good mass removal spell. And then we have more than that, but these are our main counter spell, because usually it's literally just a counter spell if we have a dragon in hand. Then I have 1 Stubborn Denial, 1 Disdainful Stroke, which probably should be negates. I mean, I don't even have a sideboard, but I should have 4 negates in the sideboard against control. We have this, which usually makes our opponent sacrifice a creature, and then we get to gain 4 life. Maybe we should be running more than 10 dragons. Usually that's enough, but then this, we can almost always choose destroy all non-dragon creatures. Anticipate is a good card advantage spell. And then basically Dig Through Time is a much bigger Anticipate. That's basically what it is. Much more expensive, but with Delve, and that's the only real Delve card in the deck. So yeah, and then we have Foil Ugin, which isn't even that great. And then Land Base. There should be 2 of these, and I would suggest buying these even if you're building like a budget version. Those are worth it. These are most likely not worth it if you're building a budget version, but we have 2 Polluted Deltas and 1 Bloodstained Mire. I guess the red is slightly better, actually. So, preferably you'd want more Bloodstained Mires, but those I just got in a pack, so it's sort of random. Those, this is probably what you'd replace them with, since you want these. You don't want too many tapped lands, and these are both good. And this is what we're fetching usually anyways, because they count as multiple different land types. Yeah, they enter the outfield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands, which you usually will, or it's just early game and you can play them tapped anyways. Then we have these, which enter tapped and gain you a life. Then I have 2 Chivalry, so it's Fate Reforged hasn't come out yet, but when it does, you might want to, like, you could replace these with those lands. You could replace the tap lands with these, with the untapped lands most of the time, and then put in those. The tapped mainland, and then we have 5 islands, 4 mountains, and 3 swamps. And that's my Grixis Dragon standard deck. And it was starting to set it out, but now it's just a gigantic mess on the periodic table of Magic cards.